someone commented that they didn't want any more guest characters in Street Fighter 6, and I was making the argument for Cyclops um, to be included in the next DLC, and for him to be the fifth, um, yeah, the fifth character, because we've been getting four, right? We've been getting four for the last two DLCs, number one and number two. So for the number third one, I figured that we'd get one guest character instead of two, and make it Cyclops. Just to maintain that relationship between Marvel and Capcom. That would be, in my personal opinion, a good idea for Capcom to do. And Cyclops is perfect because he's that one guy that shakes the hand with Ryu, right? It's the classic handshake. It's also good because X-Men is on the rise again now with the animated series. X-Men 90, was it 97 or something like that? And now there's rumors that there's gonna be a new X-Men arcade part two series, which is the classic X-Men um, game. I know everybody's played it. Like everybody who grew up around the times I grew up in the 90s. Um, that game came out in 92, I believe, and they're gonna remake it. And it was announced or rumored to be announced right after Marvel Cosmic Invasion, I think is the new game that was announced in Nintendo Connect. So that, and I see how they're gonna do it. I mean, it's gonna be perfect, right? That game is one of those games that you used to go play with your friends at the arcade, or actually at a pizza place. That's where I used to play. And so the popularity of X-Men is there, and so bringing someone in like Cyclops would be perfect. That's my argument, and of course, a lot of people from my perspective are saying that no more guest characters. Scrap all the the guest characters and just keep it strictly, um, within the game. And the same sentiment is being heard when it comes to Fatal Fury: City of the Wolves. The people don't want guest characters. They want them to focus on the characters from the game. And I think that's kind of boring. Like, to be honest, it's kind of boring to think that way. Um, but let's get to the negatives of this one real quick. I know I'm kind of rambling, but the negatives for me is the design. The design of Cristiano Ronaldo in the game is just pretty much just him. He doesn't seem to fit into the game. He just doesn't seem like he belongs in the game. I mean, look at these characters here. They're all anime style. They're exaggerated muscles, exaggerated hair. They look like anime characters. Right? It is an anime game in a way, just by looking at them. Their aesthetics are anime. And then you got Ronaldo, who is supposed to be part of this universe. I read the story, by the way, and it says that he lives in this universe. He just visits Southtown, right? But then you look at him and he looks different than everybody in the game. He just looks like he doesn't belong. Um, he just looks like a regular guy, dude. That's just a regular dude fighting against characters that are way more fantastical, that have, these crazy power ups and power levels and shit, and throw fireballs. And I feel like that's the negative aspect, from my opinion. He just doesn't seem like he belongs here. And I blame character design. character design is the main thing that I think failed in this particular character. And I feel like they just got Cristiano Ronaldo and they just put him in the game, basically, plain and simple. Um, and that's not how you do character design. You're supposed to bring him into the world. It's like I don't know if you guys like art and you look at it online. There's always these projects or challenges that people do where it says, I'm gonna draw this character in my style, or I'm gonna draw this character in the Naruto style. I'm gonna draw this character in the Bleach style, or in the Dragon Ball Z style. See, so everybody, when they step into a certain universe, they change. They can't be just themselves. You can't do that because it just doesn't feel right. And that's the same thing that's happening here with Cristiano, in my opinion. He just doesn't look like he's part of this universe. He looks like he shouldn't be here at all. Um, Here's a good example of a soccer player, like in a universe that isn't. This is what I think they should have done, like kind of, just change him up a little bit, make him look more like a fighting game character. By the way, this is the reason I'm showing you this art. I know some of y'all are probably tired of me showing you art, but this guy here, I invented back in 2022. That's way before um, the game was announced. Fatal Fury was announced, and it was actually when Street Fighter was announced. And the reason I did that is because I thought that it would be a good idea to have a character that uses a soccer ball as a projectile weapon or as a fighting weapon within a fighting game. Because to be honest, and this is where I get to the good things about the character of Cristiano Ronaldo in Fatal Fury. It's getting kind of boring to see the same old fireballs, the same old shotos, the same old footsie characters and all of this stuff. Like, we need more creativity in fighting games. We need to see crazy shit. Like, I forgot, there was this one game where it had a character that uses a bike to fight, and he does tricks with his bike to fight. Like that kind of stuff is what's missing, in my opinion, in this new, I guess you could say, new golden age of fighting games, where everything is fighting games. We're missing different styles of different types of characters, and there's so many characters that we could put into the game that show that creativity from the developers and the people working on the game, the designers. But the thing is, with Cristiano, they're not showing that creativity. We're looking at Roberto here from Rival Schools, which is one of the characters that I used to play in that game. And from what I can remember, he wasn't really using the ball too much. But this is a good example of good character design, and the hair is the main ingredient, in my opinion, for them to make a character that fits into a fighting game. His hair just looks like his regular ass hair from the real world. It's just like I said. It doesn't. He just doesn't fit in, man. And I blame the lack of creativity within the character design. Like, a lot of people are saying, oh, maybe they didn't get the license to do certain things, or maybe, um, yeah, maybe Cristiano didn't want his likeness to be messed with, because he has had trouble with that in the past too, where people try to recreate his face and they don't really get it quite right. So I feel like maybe in his mind, he's like, you better get it right, you know, or I'm suing. And so they were kind of nervous about that aspect of it. But um, the reason I don't think it's that, and the reason I'm blaming personally the lack of creativity of the people designing these characters is because most of the Fatal Fury characters that you see here do not have a redesign. And The one thing that I said in the first time that I saw the first look for Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves, was that Terry was just Terry again. And Terry always, in every iteration of Fatal Fury, he has a redesign, be it minuscule or big. He always has some type of redesign. From Fatal Fury 1, Fatal Fury 2, I had all those games, by the way, and I had them on my computer. Um, I was a PC player before PC was cool. But anyways, and in every iteration of Terry Bogard, he always has a redesign. In his first design, he has like a jacket that's rolled up with rolled up sleeves, and he has a hat. Right. The second one, that's when he starts wearing his vest, and he has a T-shirt on the inside. The third one, he has a ripped T-shirt on the inside with the vest. So it's very small redesigns where the developers, where the people designing the character design people are able to use their creativity to redesign characters and to push that creativity that they have. Because without that, they're not, alive. In my opinion, artists, they can't be alive if they're not creating, if they're not pushing that creativity button. Um, and I feel like this game, in this Cristiano Ronaldo, um, iteration to the game makes me realize how dry and void of creativity this game is. And I know that's kind of harsh. My audio was messing up, but basically what I'm trying to say is simple. Most of the characters don't have redesigns, and that's because there was a lack, in my opinion, of creativity. It could have been. I was thinking about it. It could have been that they didn't want to risk it and redesign characters and have people not know who they were. And that could have been a factor in it. And they lose money that way. But they should have just done what Street Fighter did. Street Fighter had the redesign, and then they showed the old design on half of the trailer. So they would put out a trailer and the move set, right, and then in halfway through the move set, you would get the old design of the classic design of the character. That's a smart way to do it. And of course, not everybody has the money to do that. And I'm pretty sure they're on a shorter budget um, than Street Fighter is. But my point is just like the fact that some people are blaming it on maybe the rights for the character. I think that there's more things than that. Like I said, he's not the only one that's under designed. Look at Terry. Look at Rock Howard. Rock Howard's the same. T-Sock's the same. Uh, Marcos is the same. Some of them did get redesigns. Like I said, I know I'm repeating myself, but my point is, you could tell that there was lacking. They were lacking a bit on that aspect of designing characters. Um, but for the good things, like I said, the move set's pretty cool. I liked how he's using the ball. You know, um, I've always wanted to see a character like this. Instead of seeing, like I said, the same old boring Shotos or the same old boring guys with footsies and stuff like that. We get something a little different. And I think that's what we got here with Cristiano when it comes to his moveset. But yeah, guys, and there's a kind of like a redesign here. If you notice, like the main thing is his hair. His hair just looks different. It looks more exaggerated, and it looks like, um, it just looks more fantastical. And of course, I would do probably way better than that. That's an AI. Um, and there's things that they just don't understand when you're talking to them, telling them what to do. But I know exactly, I mean, what I would do if I was going to redesign Cristiano. This is just what I would do. Okay, like I would give him a sleeveless shirt, show a little bit more muscle. You got the captain armband. I would make that, you know, have like a ribbon tied to it, so that when he moves, you could see the kind of like the ribbon moving around. I would give him earrings, but I would make one of it just one earring and make it a cross. His hair would be way more exaggerated. His legs will be way more exaggerated and muscular, making it seem like he has really strong legs. His arms would probably be less muscular and less toned. I mean, toned, but less like, big. Um, and those are like a couple of things that I would do, to just make him look better. And his eyes have to look more anime. Um, he just look like his regular face to me personally. Also, his move set, I would make it way better. Like, just I like his move set. Don't get me wrong, it's good, but I would just go crazy with it. You know, crazy combos with the ball. You know, I don't know. It's just a bit lackluster for me for my taste. But anyways, guys, that is gonna be it for today. By the way, um, this guy he kind of has one of those moves that he did in the game, which is kind of cool. And like I said, I had made this way before the game came out, and it's kind of cool because this isn't the only time that I've predicted things with my drawings. Um, and I mean, it's cool that we're getting a soccer player, but it's kind of bad because we're wasting it on Ronaldo, and not just Ronaldo, but like realistic Ronaldo that's confusing to me because he's just not. How can I say this? He just doesn't fit in, dude. Like, and it has nothing to do with Cristiano. It's just the design and the storyline behind him. He's just a guy that lives in the same universe, and he visits Southtown. But then why does he look different? It just doesn't make any sense to me. But yeah, the one thing I'm gonna say about me predicting like the future with my drawings, it's not the first time that it happens. Just really quick, I drew, um, and I have a video on it too. I drew characters for Elon Musk, Trump, and Jeff Bezos, and all of them, all of the rich people in the world, and I turned them into like Avengers, like evil Avengers, and you know, next thing you know, it's happening, dude. It's happening. As we speak, they're all teaming up and they're all next to each other, taking pictures. I turned Superman into an evil. I mean, I turned Trump into an evil type of Superman. And weeks later after that, he comes up with his Trump collectible cards, and he has a he's dressed as a Superman type hero, superhero, Superman type guy. And I was like, bro, that's crazy. Like, I'm literally predicting the future with my drawings, um, which is kind of like The Simpsons. And I don't think there's anything like crazy about that. I just think that when you have a creative mind and you see things that are happening and you draw things that you think will happen and you think are possible to happen, um, it's kind of like it. You kind of accidentally predict the future. Like, for example, if I was to say right now, looking at video games and how popular fighting games are becoming, you know, there could be a possibility that in the future, fighting games are going to be the best way to promote your product. Why? Because of what we see with Cristiano Ronaldo, right? and everybody's gonna want to be a fighting game character. But that's gonna be good in a way, but it's gonna be bad in a way. Now, see, I'm thinking here, thinking logically, and kind of predicting what's gonna happen in the future. And you're gonna have characters for Brad Pitt. You're gonna have characters for all of these types of guys that you wouldn't never think that it would be in a fighting game. You're gonna be thinking of them in the fighting game sense. But the bad thing about it is gonna be that a lot of these move sets are gonna be just copy paste from other characters that are already existing. So it's gonna be a bit boring. You know, it's kind of like Mortal Kombat. What Mortal Kombat does when they get a new character, and you see a new character, but they're not really new. They're just copy and pasting move sets from other characters. It's just the same character. They're just, putting a skin on top of that character that makes it seem like it's a new character. So that's me predicting what's gonna happen in the future. Okay. Um, and that's what I think is gonna happen in the future. Right? Everybody's gonna have a fighting game character, but at the same time, because it's so popular, it's gonna kind of lose its luster. And that's when I believe fighting games are gonna go into another decline. It may be 5 years down the line, maybe 10 years down the line. It may be quicker than that, depending on how fast this happens. But I do think that Cr7 going into um, fighting games like this, a real character in a fighting game. I think the only one that's done it before is LeBron. Yeah, LeBron James in what is it called, multiverse or something like that. But we'll see. We will see.